What's up, guys? I just wanted to, first off, thank you for anyone that's listening. I wanted to thank you for anyone that has been on this journey with me for a long time. I mean, because I've been doing YouTube technically since 2016. So, for going on for about 6 years, maybe five, maybe I'm trying to remember exactly because I started off, doing Facebook and then went on and on. But that's not what this is about. This is something, obviously, the title pretty much says it all. Me living in hotels for 2 years, and I'm wanting to talk about this because not only I think this is important to realize for anyone that has gone through this, anyone that has not gone through this, to where this can happen to pretty much anybody. And when I start telling you guys some information, it's really going to make you go, wow, anyone that gets through this entire video. So just to kind of give you a step-by-step process of what occurred. If you guys do not know a lot about me, I was born and raised in Florida. I lived with my grandparents and my mother my entire life. I do not know who my father is. I was, like I said, the first grandchild. I'm not gonna lie, I was spoiled growing up. I got a lot what I wanted, and over the years, my grandfather, he worked very hard, so we didn't have to really worry about money for a long time. And then later on through the years, there was a lot of bad decisions made, not only with the house, but the house was not fully paid for like I always thought. And when I started working, I went back and forth with working and not working, and it just wasn't enough to pay the bills. And evidently, we lost the house. We lost the cars due to, again, bad decisions, insurance slash payments, and having to keep up with repairs. We couldn't keep up with nothing, and ended up trying to sell as much as we could to make money. There was times we lived without electricity. We literally lived without electricity for about 2 months, or sometimes without water for about half a month or a month sometimes. We still was able to bathe, with water that we bought. I was working constantly. There was times I'd rather be at work than at home, because what else could I do other than at work, And I literally would walk to work because where I worked at was Dollar General at the time, and I would just walk from there to work, and it was the next subdivision over from where I lived. And I will say this: anyone that does not understand hard times, then I'm grateful that you have not gone through stuff like that. But not only does this make you a tougher of a person, it makes you humble. It makes you really not I don't want to say accept, but I want to say be grateful for what you do have and what you're able to do. And I'm going to go into the hotel part here in a minute. Um, my family and I wanted to move very badly. I was in a relationship at the time, and I was somewhat happy with that relationship. And a lot of what I was getting out of that was not only toxic, but a lot of it, from what she was telling me, was truth too about my family. And it really opens up my eyes now, because when I got older, I got taken advantage of by my family, and I was pretty much shown, hey, you're the man of the house now, because my grandfather lost his job. He went into very deep depression, and my grandmother unfortunately made a lot of bad decisions with money, and she got scammed very much, and it was a lot. And my mom, she did as much as she could. She's got medical issues. My grandparents got medical issues. So it was very hard. And, the car we had, it took us to, Louisiana at the time. And when we got there, we didn't have a house we were looking at. We didn't have an apartment we were looking at, nothing of that nature. And there was really no plan. So we get there, and we had someone that took all the stuff in our house. And unfortunately, never saw it again. The company that we went through, I can't remember the name. They stole pretty much everything. They kept upping the price on everything, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And we just couldn't pay it. And I remember I was working a little bit, and I just couldn't even pay that. I was going to school at the time, could barely do school. I was still, making the dean's list, and we started off in Motel 6 for a few days. Then we moved into a house. It wasn't the best thing because the people who originally owned it that we were renting from, they were very money hungry, and there were some more bad decisions on my family, so we had to leave. And then we went right back to a hotel. We were in a hotel for about a month until Halloween. Got kicked out, and I'm trying to remember how we got kicked out. I'm not even sure if it was even about the money or something else, because again, we had 5 dogs and 4 people. So it was 5 dogs and 4 people living in a two bed hotel room. And uh it was horrible. It was. And a lot of you are like, okay, well, how'd you sleep? A lot of times I slept on the floor. I slept on the bed. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. And then at that point in time, we went from there to Motel 6. We were in there for, I remember, Halloween of 2017 to Christmas, or almost like a few days after Christmas of 2017. I remember I was not working at the time. I was going to school. Very cold. Barely had any food most of the time. When we had food come in from anything from Social Security to uh, food stamps or whatever, we were lucky to have food. And we got stuff from different places, food drives, some people that helped us off and on. It was bad. And then we got from there, we went to another place called The Extended, which I do not recommend you guys ever go to this. It is the person that owns this, he's a very crook. There's a lot of bad stuff going on in this area. We lived there for about a year. I worked at one job, then I worked at another one. I was there for about a year as well for working when I worked at Margaritaville. And I pretty much brought in the money to from my family. My family, they're paying the rent for about a month, and it was bad because the guy, he didn't like the fact that we were living there, because again, I was sleeping on a hide-a-bed, my grandparents were sleeping in a bed, my mom was sleeping on an air mattress, and we had 5 dogs. And it was horrible, because not only we lost one of our dogs during that time because of very bad conditions, because almost everywhere we went to, there was mold, there was trash everywhere in a lot of areas, there was a lot of fleas in sometimes the areas, and we did what we could, and unfortunately we had to put our first dog down. And then after that, with a year from harassment to, drugs in the area, to gun deals, to, drug deals, to, prostitution, to a lot of things that was going on in this area that we had to deal with, and we had no choice but to deal with. And, having my mom almost robbed at gunpoint at the time, me having a gun to my head at times when I was in Motel 6 to Extended to another place called the Ramada. So all these were hotels. And again, guys, I was dealing with this on a daily basis. This is where a lot of my depression comes from. This is where a lot of my anxiety comes from. This is where a lot of issues come from. And the reason, again, why I bring all this up is, if you're one of those that understand hard times, you're going to understand what I'm saying. Don't take stuff for granted. There are times I have to sit back now and go, I don't need to take this for granted, because I got things now in my life. I have a bed of my own. I have a home of my own, even though I'm renting. There is, I have TVs of my own. I have consoles of my own. I have a car of my own that I'm still paying for. I have dozens of things that I'm able to do now and be able to use that I was not able to use between 6 to 5 years ago. That I was not able to do. That I never thought I was able to do. And I didn't have friends that helped me. I had maybe 1 or 2 people that helped me, that I had helped them back. And again, guys, I was taking care of so many people. I was taking care of so many people. I was taking care of my family. I was taking care of, my dogs. And then I was taking care of my girlfriend at the time and her daughter. I literally almost thought, just to be done with it. I almost left my family several times because I couldn't deal with the drama. I couldn't deal with. I put so much faith into my family of, hey, they're going to get us out of this, and that wasn't it. I had to get myself out of it because nobody was doing anything. Everybody got stuck to what they were doing. They wanted better, but there was nothing. Nobody did to try to do anything because bills was stacking up. Holidays was around. So again, with holidays coming around this year, I would say work as much as you can, but at the same time, be with your family. That is the reason why I get very adamant about a schedule, making sure you have birthdays taken care of, making sure you can go to events, making sure you go to work on time, you don't miss work, you have enough like PTO, sick leave, vacation, something to where your work offers that. If it doesn't, then try to work around that. Try to ask for a day off, or if you need a day off, take mental health very seriously, take physical health very seriously, because again, one day you're not going to be here anymore, and you're going to wonder, okay, what did you do? Did you work too much? Did you work not enough? Did you spend enough time with your family? All these things go through my head because, guys, I lost so many friends. I lost so-called family. I lost my identity. I lost my respect for myself. I lost so much during this time period of my life, and this is why I said 2017 was the worst year of my life. And because I lost everything. I learned how to literally survive on the streets because I had times where we almost got kicked out of a hotel. We were kicked out of a hotel. We slept in a car. I slept in a bathtub. I slept on the floor. I slept on a bed, or I slept on a hide a bed, or I slept on a table or something just to try to get sleep. Or I would fall asleep on a bench waiting for a ride, or I would fall asleep, you know, getting somewhere early for my job. That way I knew I was there in time. Um, there was so much, again, that people don't understand. People that live on the streets, and again, whether it was their fault or not their fault, due to, the virus that went around, which I'm not going to say it because, again, I don't want this video to get demonetized, or, medical reasons or family reasons, or there's so many reasons, because where I'm living at now, there's so much homeless. And it breaks my heart, and it does, because I know what that's like. I know what it's like to where you're wondering, where's your next meal going to come from? Where is your next paycheck going to come from? Why can't you get a job? Why can't you get to your job? What about your kids? Do you have kids? What about your animals? Is someplace going to take you in and help your animals? There's a lot of things to consider, not only in your life, but that world, because you see the good and you see the bad. I came across the most, not only disgusting people in living in hotels, being close to homeless for 2.5 years or 2 years, to the best kind of people that know what it's like, and there's some that I saw that got robbed. There's people that I know that got kicked out. There's people that I know that got ran out of town. There's people that I knew that were all kinds of the ways of just disgusting, rotten people that, you wonder, okay, well, when it shows how they are, you're like, okay, well, now I see why they may be in this situation. But again, guys, with this time of the year coming around, with Thanksgiving, Christmas, holidays, it makes me kind of sit back and be grateful for what I do have. I don't have to worry about the weather elements getting to me, or at other times where it's going to be very cold, because again, where I'm living at now, it is colder than where I was at. I've lost everything I knew with my family, from family pictures to items to you name it, it's gone. I mean, it is gone. And it's taken us a very long time, not only for my family and I to recover, but to, try to continue being a family. And it's hard, especially, I'm not trying to go into too much of personal wise, but when you blame others for things that maybe you could have done or they could have done differently, it puts life into consideration. It really does. And it sucks. It sucks to where you wonder, could you have done something to make it better? Could you have done whatever to something? I mean, there's so many things that I could say that some people may understand, because when you get treated like you're less than, and you see that people don't care whether you lived or died, then it really does put a lot in perspective. It does. It puts a lot in perspective of not only are you going to have a meal, are you going to have a bed to sleep in, are you going to be able to go see this movie, watch this movie, play this game, get this toy, uh, get food for your animals, get food for your family, make sure your parents or your grandparents or someone that you love is okay. That doesn't always happen. And like I said, where I stayed at, I lost a lot to where I blame that place for my dogs dying. I do. And my 90% of my dogs, I had lost 3 dogs pretty much all due to heart failure. My last dog that passed away, she died from another illness of her breed. And that still gets me. I made the probably the most best friends I had during this worst time of my life, and unfortunately now one of them's gone. And some do not. I have maybe 2 friends while I was going through this period of my life that I still talk to, that know what I went through, that knows the hardships of what I went through, and they still talk to me. Others, they don't talk to me. They pretty much rubbed me off like, hey, all I was asking for was money, which I did ask for money. I will admit that I asked for money. I asked for any kind of help, and nothing occurred. Nothing. And it sucked. It does. It sucks when you pretty much get written off like, hey, I don't care. It's not my problem. So, but either way, guys, that's just something to talk about. Hope you guys are wanting to listen, but at the same time, take this with consideration. If you're going through something like this, don't take it for granted. Try to take control of your life, take control of your destiny. I would say take control of yourself, take control of, just make sure you work hard enough, make sure that you are giving the best thing you can be, because if you don't, you're going to be regretting it, because you may be in a situation like I did. And that is the reason why I work so hard. That is the reason why I try so hard. That is the reason why I push myself so hard. And hopefully one day, all this pushing will be worth it. So I hope you guys have gotten something from this. I hope you guys stay safe in the world. Thank you for sticking with me. There are videos on during this time period of my life that you guys can probably go look at. If you guys go all the way back and you search like 2017, 2018, you're going to see videos of me in different locations. You will see that, and that's the reason why. You will see me videos on a sidewalk, or you'll see me videos in a kitchen area. You'll see me videos walking around, or what looks to be a parking lot, because I would do videos in the hotel parking lots. There's videos that I would do because it was crappy Wi-Fi, or it was because I wanted to get away from my family, or it was because I just want to get away from just feeling so depressed or whatever. So again, there are videos out there. The videos are on the channel. So if you guys have any kind of questions, or if you're going through something like that, you can talk to me. Again, if you're going through this, my heart is with you, my thoughts are with you, my prayers are with you. And again, this video may help somebody, it may not. If you stuck around this long, thank you. If you didn't, then maybe this video wasn't for you. But hopefully someone got something out of this. And I just wanted to give you my story of, yeah, I lived in hotels for 2 years. I was pretty much homeless for 2.5 years. And anyone that has been in this situation or worse, that has lived in a car, lived on the streets, lived in a hotel, or lived somewhere just to survive, then again, it's very tiresome. It's very, intense. And like I said, hopefully you guys are not going through this. Hopefully, there's ones that understands this. If you don't, then hopefully you never go through this like I did. But let me know what you guys thought about this video. And thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all your support. And I'll see you as always on the next one.